Welcome back to Life and Hair, everybody. We're in 2021. This is the 2nd of January. I'm at home, not doing much. The weather isn't that great, so what else to do but another wig review. I bought a new wig. I received this little number in the post and started flicking through it. Of course, idle hands are always a dangerous thing. I jumped onto the website and to cut a long story short, received this in the post. So this is my first Jaclyn Smith wig. I've always admired them but never actually got my hands on one. I think that Jaclyn Smith is an amazing seller of these wigs because she's very beautiful, incredibly charismatic, and she produces really lovely styles. I have noticed this for quite a while. This one was on sale and it was rude not to buy it, really. Let me show you the tag. This is called Screen Legend and the colour is in B8 to 7. Now, look at those blended highlights. This is an unrooted colour, so the highlights start right from the root. It's on a lovely medium brown base, and these look to be a kind of muted amber highlight. I must admit that the longer I've been wearing wigs and the longer I've been experimenting with colours on me, I'm starting to come to the conclusion, of course the kitten has already found the packaging, I'm starting to come to the conclusion that more ashy colours, be they browns or blondes, complement my skin tone better than goldens. I do see some red in this colour. It's a kind of a ginger red to my eye. No, don't start playing with the lipstick, heavens above. But I do also believe that the brown base is a medium ashy brown. I don't see that it's a golden brown, but then it's very difficult to really be exact. Yeah, so this essentially is quite a longish bob style. This, I believe, looks like your bob has grown out, and I love that because it adds some weight and some heaviness to the hair, which I really like. It's not too sort of pristine and angular and freshly done. But before I put this on, I'm going to talk about this cap. Okay? Essentially, this is a basic cap with a strip of lace front added. When I was looking at this lace front earlier, before I popped it on to try, I really thought that it was a good lace front. Very realistic. Let's try her on and see what we think. I've actually got my mirror just here to my right. First thing I'm going to do is make sure that she's on straight. As you can see, she's coming in a middle parting, which I'm going to comb out because I want to see how she falls naturally. Where does she want to go? As you know, I kind of like to have my hair weighted down to the right, more so than in the centre. Oh my goodness, I haven't had a centre parting for several decades. Too many to count. Okay, so let's see. I'm just going to look in the mirror just to make sure that everything's okay. So like all the other styles I've tried on really, when you get them out of their box, they do like to be face floppers. Try saying face floppers after you've had a few drinks. Now I can feel some permatease up here, and that's a really, really good thing, I think. I'm going to give it a good look in a minute once I've actually woken this permatease up. As one of my lovely subscribers, Clara, likes to remind me after I've posted the video, that I didn't shake the wig. And indeed I didn't shake this one, Clara, either. But then, you know, where would the fun be if I did everything right? I'm just interested in the amount of permatease that can be seen here. I just want to make sure that it's not really, really noticeable. Do you know something? It's very, very difficult to get everything sorted with one hand whilst making sure I'm in shot and saying something interesting at the same time. I dare say it's almost impossible, but look, this is basically what we're working with here. Now, look at this lovely length. Okay, so it comes to just under my collarbone, I reckon. It's got that lovely sweep by the layers. I'm going to look up the lengths of this style and put them on the screen. Because I'm not very technical person, it's not something that I think to do, but I can understand that it's actually very useful to people. Yeah. Because this isn't a rooted colour, you sort of have to think that you've just been to the hairdresser recently to have your hair coloured, and maybe you took the time to straighten it in the morning. Have a look. This is my right side, the back. Yeah, really, really nice layers in that one. Much shorter at the top than at the bottom, but the layers are really blending nicely all the way down. It's a very smooth, slick style actually. And this is my right side. This is where currently I've got the hair weighted down. Obviously, this style is in a middle parting in the catalogue on the website. So let's see why it's in a middle parting and whether that's where it wants to be. But anyway, this gives you an idea of really how it wants to sit. You know, with a pair of nice dangly earrings and a little bit of New Year's sparkle. I actually think this is quite an eye-catching style. It's a very easy style to wear. You can get quite a lot of volume on the sides with this style. And just in case you missed it, it's Screen Legend. It's very, very interesting. Now let's come in and have a little bit more of a look at the lace front here. I think it goes back about 1.5 inches. So let's see what we've got. The hair is quite dense, but actually the lace is pretty invisible, don't you think? And it goes all the way down to the temples. I can feel it here. Likewise, and do excuse the grey hair starting to grow back. No matter what I do, it seems to be absolutely determined to make an appearance. Of course, as you know, I've got that powder, and a little bit of powder there will camouflage those greys beautifully. Likewise, as I said last time or the time before, I haven't actually straightened these hairs, but if I was wearing it out, that's exactly what I would do. And really, the ear tabs come to here. This is the ear tab. It's got the metal stays in it. Yeah. If we were to take a couple of clips, this is a lovely style. I really like it. As somebody who's never really had straight hair, I'm kind of fascinated by straight hair. They always say you always want the hair you haven't got, and usually the hair that's most difficult to attain for you. This is one of the things I always like to do whenever I've got a lace front, is to really make the most of it. As far as realism goes, if you've got a really nice lace front and you've got your hair away from your face, most people would never imagine that you'd have the audacity to wear a wig away from your face like that. Because as far as most people are concerned, wigs are these big, brown, matty, bristly things that they wouldn't be caught dead in. There's not a lot of places that are open at the moment because my part of the UK is in Tier 4 at the moment. But one of the places that is open is the garden centre, of course, in the supermarket. Now, if I was to take this out, I think really I'd feel that I've achieved a very, very realistic head of hair. You know? And it's really nice to treat a wig or a style just as your head of hair. You know, really, there shouldn't be any difference at all. Now, as far as I'm aware, and I hope that I'm not mistaken, this is not a heat-friendly fibre. But when your hair comes styled like this, in this lovely caramelised colour, that actually tracks the waves and the undulations in the style and enhances them, why on earth would you want to change it? I mean, just look at how the light is catching the front of this style and the back. Makes for a lovely, lovely movement at the back. It's soft, amazingly feminine. The permatease here just supports those curves beautifully. as far as putting her up at the side, let's see how she looks. All you can do is try, really. It's amazing I'm doing all of this on the actual screen because, you know, I can't really see the mirror. But look, very, very natural, amazingly realistic. And just to soften the edges here, you just pull down a little bit on those pieces that are at the top. Once you've sorted out your actual biological hair and integrated it somewhat, it just blends itself with the rest of the hair. I think that the colour is very nice and suits my skin tones very well. I'm amazingly pleased that I bought this style. You know, I'm a big advocate of wearing extra hair. I would love to get myself a topper, but I feel that I haven't really found the right texture hair topper for my curly Mediterranean hair. I don't get up in the morning and straighten my hair or blow dry it or anything like that. I kind of just leave it alone. But as you've seen in my previous videos, I brush it, so therefore it's quite frizzy. And I'd like to have something that will integrate with that seamlessly. And it may be that I'm going to need a human hair topper that I can actually style along to suit what I've already got. You could easily be a screen legend in this. Really, really lovely, isn't it? When I started to look into wearing hair, I used to look at the videos on YouTube and think to myself, sorry, there's somebody walking past out there. The amount of hours I spent just watching wig reviews on YouTube, not being able to believe my eyes at the possibilities of having and presenting myself as having such beautiful, thick, healthy hair in all sorts of styles, in all sorts of colours, you know, trying short and medium. I haven't yet tried long styles, but I know that the Angelica by Noriko is on sale in that catalogue, and I wonder whether I should just try it. It's not very expensive, and it's not the monofilament top. It's got the permatease. It's a closed cap one, so it's not very expensive. So maybe I should give it a go. But I used to get really excited at the possibilities that it presented. You know, I could pretend to be someone completely different, or I could just pretend to have an enhanced version of myself. When I made the first couple of videos, I was very much testing the water and seeing whether wearing those wigs was going to be something that other people noticed. I very gingerly wore my Mila out. You can see that whole journey. I also very, very gingerly and nervously showed my husband Mila for the first time. I was really nervous. I was really nervous. I thought that he was going to be embarrassed. And kitten, this is not the time to start playing with those bells. I thought he was going to be embarrassed and not really know how to tell me that he would prefer it if I was just natural, just the way I am. Which meant really that I would have had to put that Mila away and, you know, never have any fun when I went out. But actually he's got a very playful heart, and he immediately saw the possibilities of what was, you know, the potential in those styles. Going out and wearing different styles and different colours. He was very, very kind about it. He's never said anything negative about it. You know, and I wonder how many other women are out there who are very nervous about taking that first step. And it is a big step. And now, you know, I've never worn wigs to work. You know, just because you've made that first step with close friends and family and it's worked well, it doesn't mean that there aren't additional steps, you know, to take later on. But I have noticed some hair shedding recently. You know, every time I brush my hair, I usually brush it first thing in the morning. I've noticed really quite a lot of hair coming out. Now normally I'd be in a panic about that. You know, it's a very unpleasant thing to go through. But I felt that I was more calm about it. I've got a backup plan. I've got something that works. I don't have to have, it doesn't necessarily mean a sentence of having to lay your soul bare for everybody when your hair is falling out. You know, that there are ways now of going through it with dignity and actually creativity. It's not just about finding the style that most goes with your natural hairstyle normally and sticking to it. I mean, I would defy any one of my colleagues, and I work with all women, there are no men really that I work with, I would defy any of them to not notice the potential and the possibilities with doing this. You know, and I bet you most women would think, and even those who have got thick hair would think, wow, you know, I'm going out somewhere. I've got a very good friend actually who sings as in a band as a hobby. You know, it's amazing what she'd be able to wear. Sometimes we do knit and natter on Zoom, her and I actually put on Ray, turned the camera on, and we had a good old laugh because it was a big change from how she's used to seeing me. And I said, you know, and then I just whipped her off my head and I said, oh, it's a wig. And she said, well, you know, the only reason I wondered whether it was a wig is because I know that you've told me in the past that you've actually got some wigs and you enjoy wearing wigs, and that's the only reason why I thought it was a wig. But she said it looked nice. The texture of this is amazing. I must admit that, you know, when I had got Juno and Ashley, those Paula young ones, and now Jaclyn Smith, the texture is amazing. It's quite substantial. You know, you feel like you can get your fingers in it and actually move it around, and it's a lovely sensual feeling. I know, I'm crazy, and I love it. Long may it last. Just think of all those new styles that I'm going to get in 2021. When I tried Watch Me Wow by Raquel Welch actually make very, very good wigs. Very realistic. But I did notice that the denier was a little bit smoother and a little bit finer than a lot of the other styles that I've got. And I think really, I mean, I wouldn't turn a Raquel Welch style down, and they are quite expensive, but I certainly wouldn't, you know, I could easily save for one and buy one, and I would really like to do that. But I'm also very, very happy with this. I've paired it with a number 7 lipstick called Blushing Tulip. Such a lovely colour. It manages to have a blushing pink as well as being a subdued colour. There are a couple of things that I wanted to talk about, and I guess I'm going to have to talk about them in some other videos. One is I wanted to talk about, as way of an update, of my vertical sleeve gastrectomy. A lovely channel, I don't know the lady's name, but her channel is called Faking It After 50, actually asked me, have you actually had the operation? And it occurred to me that I haven't really spoken about what it was like going through that operation. On the 25th of December, Christmas Day, it was 3 months since I had my vertical sleeve gastrectomy. And I consider it to be one of the best things that I've ever done, particularly at this time in my life. But I'm not going to go on about it too much, because I would like to perhaps set up somewhere else, make a cup of tea, and just have a nice chat about it. So all the best to you and all the best of luck from Screen Legend in 2021. Take care.